Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for coming. I'm Nick, and this is Real Life Money, where we talk about real life and money, because schools aren't, so let's get started. Are you looking for great companies to invest in and are not likely to lose money in? Well, in this video, guys, we're going over safe stocks to invest in 2017. So I'm talking for the long term, guys, nothing short term. Like within a year, that's short term. It is very volatile, could go up or down very quickly or fairly quickly. For the long term, that's where you could get some impressive gains. Now, before we get into anything at all, guys, we first have to realize that a stock is actually part of a company. It's just not a number on a screen. It's a company, a business. When you understand that concept, you start realizing that sometimes it's not as risky as some may sound. A lot of people, I think they probably realize that all stocks are like penny stocks. You could lose everything overnight, and that's not true. You may lose a lot of money overnight, but if you're looking at the long term, you could do some damage. Get disgustingly rich and wealthy and handsome at the same time. I mean, I'm not there yet, but we have to realize if we are investing safely, we have to focus on the long term. And the long term could be years and years, like 5+ years into the future. So pop quiz, what would you consider a safe stock or a safe company? Would it be a small chip provider and some computer thing that you have no idea about? Or a company that you understand, know, and do business with them because they're popular? This isn't a trick question, guys. It was the second one, because if you know what the business is, it's probably doing well because you know of it. And that is usually, or should be usually, the first stock that people invest in is a company that you know, that you buy from, or that you use every single day. An important factor to this is that you use every single day, guys. So if a crash or recession happens, people will continue to buy or use the service or products, whatever the company is, even when times are tough. So I'll be going into some examples that these companies have been around for years, they're still growing, and you have definitely heard of, guys. So before we get into the examples, I first want to put out there that I do have another video going on about dividend stocks, great dividend stocks. This kind of relates to safe stocks, because if you invest in a company, it could go up or down. No matter what happens, you still get that dividend. So if you like that type of safety, especially for the long term, don't forget that. I'll leave a link in the description for that video down below. So I'm going to shut my face up and start talking about stuff you guys care about, which is the company, starting off with the largest one in the world right now, Apple. Of course, guys, you could see. Now I'm going to show you all the stocks as this screen. I have the chart to 5 years. You could go a little bit further. This is Yahoo Finance, but you could see in all of these examples, the past 5 years, they are up. Now, yes, there are ups and downs, but after the 5 years, they are all up. Now, Apple is incredible, guys. The largest company in the world. Everyone knows them. Many people have their iPhones. You probably have their iPhone. Your friend has their iPhones. And the business model that they have is great. They have a new model come out every so often. So that's continuous business. Everyone has smartphones, guys. Everyone uses them. It's not a risky type of thing. Now, in the short term, as you saw in the chart, it has some ups and downs. But over the long term, there is growth, especially with the newest products that they actually just released a few weeks ago. People are going to buy it. Moving on to our next stock, which is Disney. Disney, everyone knows Disney, guys. Come on, we got their movies and their theme parks. Do I need say more? So we could see their 5-year chart. They are doing, recently, again in the short term, ups and downs. For the long term, they are up, and everyone knows who they are. That's why it is safe. Now, during these, let's say, down times, because Disney is kind of down at this point, people get scared because their stock price is lower. And they don't realize that this could be a buying opportunity, especially for the long term. So some people actually might get in more at a cheaper price so they could have more later on. Plus they have Star Wars. If you don't like Star Wars, that's okay. A crap load of people do. Coming up with our next company is Visa, guys. Just think of credit cards for right now. Everyone has them. I don't care who you are, you most likely have a credit card. Everyone has them, everyone uses them. I don't particularly agree with credit cards. However, people destroy their lives from their own stupidity, so might as well invest in people's stupidity. Therefore, we have Visa up. For their 5-year, they are doing incredible. So again, these are fairly safe companies because people use them every single day. Visa gets money from people using credit cards. Credit cards aren't going away anytime soon. People use them every single day. So for the long term, that's considered a safer stock. And speaking of every single day, moving on to the next stock, which is Starbucks. Coffee, guys. It's the ignition to people's day. I don't care what is going on in the economy. If there's a recession, people are still buying their coffee and they are continuing to grow. Again, in the short term, they have some ups and downs, but in the 5 years, they are up. Now, the cool thing about some of these companies, actually, all of these companies, have a dividend. Some might have a little bit more, some might have a little less, but no matter what the stock does, you'll get your dividend. Now, over time, who knows, the dividend could remain the same. Most likely it'll increase because these are safer companies that are continuously getting income to supply you with the dividend. So you'll get income to do whatever you want with. If you want to go out and have steak or ice cream, go for it. Or, more responsible choice, why would you want to do that, is to reinvest dividends back into investments to grow larger. Now, in no way, shape, or form I'm saying to buy or absolutely buy these stocks. I'm giving examples for my opinion because they're huge names. Everyone knows them and everyone uses them. So coming up with our next investment choice is not technically a stock. I'm cheating. So if you don't know which stock to buy, guys, or which company to get into, what's the best company, what's the worst company, instead of choosing one stock, why don't we choose all of them? So I'm talking about an index fund. So this is the S&P 500. S&P 500 means it's 500 of the largest companies in America. You could see from the 5-year chart, it is up very, very nicely. And just for some fun, let's zoom out a little bit further than 5 years. This is basically since the beginning of time. You could see that it's grown ridiculously. That's since like the 50s. But you could see those ups and downs toward the end there. Those were during the crashes and recessions and all that fun stuff. But as you can see, if you held on to it, you didn't lose a dime because it's at all-time highs right now. Now, I love index funds just because they have all the companies in one, guys. So think of the long term. Do you think there are 500 companies? Yeah, a couple might swelter. I don't know what that means. They might do bad. Some might disappear. But do you think all 500 businesses are going to disappear, go bankrupt? Highly unlikely. So if you don't know which stock to pick, aren't interested in doing any type of research, index fund is a great idea. Many professionals suggest it, including the billionaire Warren Buffett. An index fund is a great investment, especially for the long term. So those are some of the safe stocks in my opinion, guys. Of course, do your own research. I'm not saying these are great stocks to buy in right now, and I'm not saying that they're bad stocks to stay away from. These are examples to get your mind going, you know? So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. There was a wide variety of stocks that we chose, not from one industry, but you know, we had Apple that everyone knows, some food and credit cards, whatever. And of course, that little cheat at the end, which I would highly recommend. But don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Real Life Money, guys. We talk about real life and money because not many people are. So I'll see you in the next one.